I would like to call to order this August 8th meeting of the Ascension Parish, East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1. At this time, Councilman Robert is here, Councilman Ogeron, Councilman, who's that? Turner. And Councilman Wagasback are not available this evening. At this time, Mr. Cagnalotti, will you lead us in the invocation followed by the pledge?
Gratitude. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we give you praise, we glorify you. We ask your blessings on this meeting tonight regarding the drainage of Ascension Parish. We can't thank you enough for all the blessings you bestow on Ascension Parish. We ask you to watch over us during this hurricane season. Keep us from harm, keep us from damage. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So earlier this evening, we had a record-setting Finance Committee meeting. Let's see how quick we can make this one happen. Item number 3, the public comment period. If there is any item on the agenda about which you wish to address the commission, please sign up with the secretary. She will see to it that those cards get to us and you will be called upon at the appropriate time. First item number 4 for a vote is the acceptance of the minutes from the July the 11th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Have a motion by Councilman Melanson, a second by Councilman Mason to approve the meeting minutes. Are there any questions, any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. I do not have any additions this evening or announcements other than we are getting deep into the hurricane season and we are all, we believe we're ready. And so we hope you will, as members of your community, get ready, have the things you need. Make sure that at the last moment you're not having to run out to Walmart and not get bread. So, and my husband reminds me often that getting ready for a hurricane is not going to get a 6-pack of beer, which was at one time, that was what was considered being ready. If you had just gone out and got your 6-pack. Yeah, a case, yeah, exactly. So everybody please get ready, be prepared, and let's be watchful as we get deeper into this season. Item number 6, general business. Acceptance of the lowest responsive quote with Anding Construction Services, LLC, the CIPP pipelining for the Old Perkins Manchac Acres, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this project. Mr. Russ.
So moved. Yeah.
Have a motion by Mr. Lambert, a second by Mr. Melanson. Does anyone have any questions of the purchasing department? Hearing any objections? Mr. Cagnalotti.
Yeah, I was just wondering what, Mr. Burris, welcome back.
Thank you.
Is there how much is this for? Is that negotiated in the contract?
Yeah, it's for the quote that we received, and I have that.
Okay.
What is it, 158?
Okay.
I'm sorry for not being better prepared. $158,019.42.
Okay.
One thing we're discovering with this technology of the CIPP pipelining, that it's very difficult to find someone to do this work because of the size of the pipe. A lot of vendors are shying away.
Yeah, I noticed they were the only folks quotes, so I'm saying we need to try to improve on that down the line. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item B, approval of the amendment number 7 to the master contract with Infinity Engineering, Conway Bayou Pump Station, upgrade for professional services to extend the contract term through December 31st, 2023. Have a motion by Mr. Mason, a second by Mr. Melanson. Are there any questions? Mr. Robert.
How are we looking on completing that?
So this is for phase 1 of the Conway pump station, which is Sorrento Pump Station expansion. Infinity has submitted the 100% design plans.
And it's going to
to-
include the levee that connects, or?
No, that's two different projects. This is
okay.
just expanding the existing
Gotcha.
station and adding the 2 other pumps. The 100% plans are turned into HNTB. They are just about done reviewing the comments. But what this is going to do, we need the engineer of record on board throughout the next process, which is submitting for construction at the next phase of the grant. So any request for information throughout the bidding process or the grant application process, we need those folks on board to be able to address any
Absolutely.
questions.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item C, renewal of a master task order contract for professional services for drainage engineering and support services in the amount of $1 million to be shared between the following firms: Ames Group, Ardura Group, Atlas Technical Consultants, BKI, CSRS, Evans Graves, GEC, H. Davis Cole, Hartman Engineering, Infinity, McKim & Creed, Meyer Engineers, PEC, and T. Baker Smith. I have a motion by Mr. Lambert, second by Mr. Robert. Are there any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item D, approval of amendment number 5 for repair and maintenance services at the pump stations with DelCon to extend the contract term for an additional 90 days through November 27th, 2023, only to complete current projects with no additional task assigned. I have a motion by Mr. Mason, a second by Mr. Melanson. Are there any questions?
Just one question.
Mr. Lambert.
What are the additional?
So as you'll see in our presentation for drainage, we have one task left, which is the installation of the gearbox on pump number 1. That should be estimated completed within the next 10 days, but we just wanted a little insurance in case we run, because this contract period ended on the 27th of August.
27, okay.
Thank you. And thank you for being ahead of that. That's, we hate to have to approve them after they've expired. So, good job, thank you. Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item 7A, the drainage report by Mr. John Monson. That's our HNTB ADAPT program and grant application update. John, welcome. Good to see you, sir.
It's nice and cool in here. It's so hot outside.
Yes.
All right, so thank you for having me. I'll make it quick. I'm going to touch on the top 5 capital projects that we're tracking. Number 1 being the Marvin Braud Pump Station and levee improvements. We submitted a letter to FEMA requesting that Phase 2 funds be moved to be used in Phase 1. There was an overage of about $5 million. FEMA has agreed, GOSEP has agreed in principle to allow that, but FEMA has to approve it before we move forward. Once that approval is done, we can issue a notice to proceed to Hartman so they can begin doing the survey and design work once FEMA approves. Bayou, Conway, and Sorrento Pump Station expansion. Infinity has completed the 100% plans and specifications. They are finalizing the bid package. Once that bid package is complete, it will be submitted for FEMA for the Phase 2 funding approval, and then it can go to construction. Sorrento Storm Surge Protection, the Parish, and PLD and BKI are working through design, modeling. It's all in progress. And Ascension Parish has coordinated monthly progress updates. The Highway 22 gapping project, LIDOTD approved an offset of a bridge, 60 feet. They're going to keep some of the original alignment, but they're going to move one of the bridges 60 feet. And then they're performing additional surveys in order to produce right-of-way drawings and core permits. So that's moving along quite nicely. And then the New River dredging substantial completion scheduled for September, for the September board approval. So that project is almost done.
Fantastic.
On the grant project tracking, there's about $6.2 million in HMGP grants. Henderson Bayou Pump Station, we haven't received any RFIs or requests for information on any of these with the exception of the Ravi Savoy Arena. That is a wind hardening project and retrofit. They're asking, they did submitted an RFI to us requesting information on some of the line items that we have. We're putting that information together for them. The Lechanier Bayou drainage improvements and culvert replacement, we haven't heard anything back on that. And then we have Welsh Gully, and I'll have a disclaimer here. You'll see Welsh Gully in here twice. This one may be added to HMGP. HMGP had a round 2, which is a more competitive type of program, but, so we're thinking about putting this one in, but I got some good news on that later on. The break funding, the Burt Allen Ditch Improvement and Detention, that was selected for further review, so we're providing additional information on that as well. No word on Marty Burett as of today. On the LWI, Louisiana Watershed Edition, around 2 pre-applications. There's a lot of movement on that right now. The New River Regional Management Pump Station was ineligible, but then they brought it back. It's being looked at for further discussions with LWI. And then the Upper Bayou Conway Drainage Detention was axed. It was deemed ineligible due to LMI, which is low to moderate income restrictions, but we might be able to find another venue for that. One thing about the LWI round 2 pre-applications, they were capped at $15 million. So Upper Bayou Conway had 2 whammies against it. It was over $15 million, and it didn't meet the LMI requirements. And then John LeBlanc and Lower Bayou Conway Detention, no word on that, so we're just kind of hopeful on that. And then on the Louisiana State Flood Control pre-applications that were turned in May, Welsh Gully Drainage Improvements, as I mentioned earlier, did get past the pre-application. I believe, Ms. Castle, you got some letters from DOTD saying that Welsh Gully was moving forward. So it's kind of like it met one hurdle. We'll go to the final applications. Those are due in October.
Yes,
And
in
then-
fact, did we find that second letter?
Yeah.
Yeah, right before the meeting I saw it, so he's got that coming as well.
Fantastic, fantastic.
So that's good
Thank you.
news on that. And then Middle Henderson, haven't heard anything on that. So all in all, some of these are moving along. And we have some good news. We have, some good reason to be positive on some of this. So that is on the grant, and that's also where the projects and the grants. I'll be willing to answer any questions. Yep.
Okay, I have Dow's seat was lit up as
Oh.
needing, having a question. He's not here, so I'm not sure who's.
That was me, I think.
Okay, Aaron, you're sitting in Dow's seat?
We're all supposed to move now?
All right,
Just
so
me. Okay,
Mr.
just
Lawler,
me.
if you are the one asking the question,
Yes.
speak.
For the, can we go back a screen? For the New River Regional Water Management Pump, the 104,000, that's also capped at 15 million?
It is. So that's one of the ones that's being looked at. That project may get 2 shots, one through the parish, which maybe get $15 million, and then the other being through the Amite River Basin Commission is one of the projects that's being selected on their list as well. So just more to come on that.
Okay, do we do a cost-benefit analysis on that?
We did.
Can we see that?
I don't have it on me, but sure.
Not right
we can see. Yeah, we'll send that to you.
Okay.
Okay. No other, I don't see any other questions? Mr. Lambert.
Yeah. Are you and Ron gonna have, I'm looking for Ron's report here.
That's coming up next.
That's coming up
Right,
next.
I'll be in there with Jay.
You'll be in with Jay, okay.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully next month you'll have the 3 that are in District 5, hopefully you'll hear something in those grants.
Yes, we're putting the, as we get requests for information or additional information, if we get word that their grants are moving up, we'll
Okay.
get more information. Yes, sir.
Mr. Robert.
So if you go back to the slide that Aaron asked for, and you see the John LeBlanc Boulevard detention? You
John
said-
LeBlanc detention on the LWI,
We haven't heard anything back on that?
I have not heard back on anything on that yet.
Okay, because I guess my question is kind of the same with what I had asked earlier to Ron, the levy, the Sorrento Pump Station levy. You're looking at, is that the one before this? The slide before this?
That's how the
Surge
surge protection would be.
Yeah, the surge protection. Number 2. And number 3, how are we looking as far as getting actual construction or anything actually being done besides engineering and approval?
For the Conway Sorrento Pump Station
Yes, sir.
expansion? Yeah, so the estimate is there, but before FEMA or GOSIP can release the funding, they have to have the entire package. And so, the cost estimate is, I believe, is somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 million. So once this bid package is put together and we meet all the check lines, all the check boxes, is it 6? Not 6, so, way off, okay.
So what type of timeline you thinking?
Would you like me to answer?
Yeah, absolutely, would like that.
So the Sorrento Storm Surge Protection Project is a project that is funded through capital outlay and with a partnership CEA with PLD. That's BKI's project. So this commission approved phase 1 of that, phase 1, phase 2. So they're waiting for a notice to proceed from PLD to start the modeling, to determine alignment and pump station size.
Okay.
So that is currently where we're at. We've received the first invoices, which we're paying from PLD on some of the survey work in geotech, but they are going ahead and waiting for the notice to proceed to start the modeling of how big do these pump stations need to be, where is the levee alignments, those kind of aspects. So that is the next phase, understanding that this is, I would say at least minimum $30 million, and there's probably about 12 right now that they've secured, which is the 8.5 they had moved over to Ascension to start the project. And then in addition to that, I think there's a priority 5 of about 3 to 4,
So we need
somewhere in
13
there.
million
So
or-
that's a project we have to ask capital outlay through every legislative session for additional funding as this continues. Hopefully, we can pin down a grant that we can then do. We just got to be careful because most of these are match monies. And due to the fact that we're
need a match.
responsible for a $19 million match with Marvin Braud levy increases, we have to be very careful how much money we expend in other mega projects as far as matches due to that requirement of that large match under that Marvin Braud levy upgrade project. So you have to be very careful with the finances there.
So what I hear you saying is we'll see some dirt turning in the levee building in the next 3 years. That's what I heard.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So we got some studying to do, some alignments to do, some design, so.
I think, I'm just really excited to see it, and I think we definitely need to have it as a priority, because
Absolutely.
that side of the parish has not had any pump or levee protection for the lifetime of the parish, so.
That's correct.
Sorry about that. I thought you were talking about the pump station, not the surge protection.
Oh, no, I'm
levees.
talking
Okay,
about
yeah,
the
levee.
combination of it, but more so the surge protection pump station to give some type of levy or some type of benefit to that side of the parish. It's a lot of people live there that pay a lot of property tax, a whole lot.
Mr. Lawler?
Yes, the LWI stuff, are those the only projects that we've applied for?
Yeah, the ones that were on the slide.
Okay. I know we have some issues in other areas that would not cost 15 million. It looks like we applied for 2 of them that are well over the budget. We've got a huge problem with Jefferson Crossing, Charleston, Willow Lake area. Why didn't we look at that?
Again, the LMI, there's a map that they provide that has the areas that are covered under the low to moderate income. And some of the areas that did not meet that, we didn't put in for.
Okay. Do we know if that area, the Charleston area,
Yeah,
did?
most of the LMI areas in Ascension Parish are in.
So, yeah, if I could, so we have submitted under BRIC and several other grant agencies, and I'm not sure if that's what you were asking, but yes, not only LWI, but also through other grants. We have submitted to every available funding source that we have access to at this point. So it's about 4, I would say, yeah,
Sure.
definitely 4. So
That-
BRIC, NRCS, LWI, DOTD granting. So the ones that were submitted in round 2 of LMI, which is about 250 million, all have to have LMI, which is low to moderate income, associated with them. Hardly any part of Ascension is in LMI except for the West Bank. And so we've become very ineligible for those projects.
Gotcha.
And so it's very difficult for us to get any of those associated with them. So, but yes, we are submitting under BRIC and other ones that Charleston and Jefferson Crossing would probably be more appropriate, especially DOTD grants, which range from anywhere from $1 million to $5 million that they give every year, and that would probably be a really good grant opportunity there.
Have we applied for those areas? Or are we still?
We're waiting on
lawsuits?
the NOFOs, the notice of funding availability. So
Okay.
as they open up we'll start applying for it.
We had a lawsuit involved in that area. Have we resolved that? Do we know where we stand on that?
Not aware of the lawsuit.
Mr. President?
No, let legal talk about lawsuits.
Which,
Dealing with Jefferson Crossing, Willow Lake?
that hasn't been resolved, no. They settled with the developer and then haven't done anything with us.
Okay, but we have to, if we want to fix that area, we have to do something. Y'all have to do something on that. I mean, we're not making any progress in the lawsuit, so we're not able to fix drainage in that area.
Okay,
Okay, well, I mean, we need the administration, y'all to take a lead on this, trying to resolve that.
This is usually something we talk about in executive session. We don't really discuss lawsuits out in the public, but
Well, I'm asking us
be
to,
happy to set an executive session so we can talk about it
Yeah.
again as a group. Obviously, we know.
yeah, we
Take
can
legal
discuss
action.
direction and take some initiative.
okay, we talked about last time needing to resolve it, and I don't think anything's been done towards that. And those people have had a problem there for 10, 15 years, and there's been no progress made to fix any of that area while this lawsuit's there. So I'm saying that let's step up and do something for them. So maybe we'll get that on executive session next time.
Anybody else have any questions? All right. Mr. Monson?
Thank you.
I think that's it for you. Thank you so much. Item 7B, the monthly report on the Marvin Braud Pump Station and Capital Project update. Mr. Jade, welcome, sir.
All right. So this is a full drainage report, gives our monthly recap, and then we'll have a little Marvin Braud at the end, and then Mr. Ron will step in and do capital. So right now, work order status, we've completed 1,368 work orders for a 60% completion rate. We've got you some kind of same monthly report. This is by department on the breakdown on the 1,368 completed. A little sample of by activity. It doesn't change much from month to month, but I just like to y'all to see some of the main activities that we do. Some of what we did this past month too, we've had some kind of high wind events. The few little rain events that we had with some high winds, so we've been collecting a few trees. There are still a few trees in some canals and all, but we're working diligently to remove those. New work orders, we received 124 in July. We were able to complete 72. Some of this is due to some of the debris removal we was removing from these trees in the canals. It takes several crew members to do that. So minor drainage projects, got you another activity report, just give you a quick little view of where we're at on that. More major drainage, McKinley Anderson lateral. This is down in the Industrialplex area. Kind of wanted you to see what it looks like before and what it's going to look like after. We're currently in progress with this work at the moment. This is one I wanted to show. I always like to try to recognize one of our exemplary personnel here, Mr. Bruce Bruley. He's been with us for quite a while here, and I want y'all to notice that ditch and that digging and the artwork that this man performs. He does such a great job. But this is what we're getting out of our employees now. They're really vetted into these projects, and Ascension Parish is going to really, we're really going to prosper with this and control a lot of water flow. But kudos to that fella. He spent a lot of years here, and I think he deserves a little recognition. So I did want to point that out. Panama Canal shredding. Give you a little idea of the amount of work it takes to do this and what the result is. Opening these channels, removing that debris from the banks, creates a lot of volume, creates a lot of water flow, get that water out of these areas. Here's some more shots of some finished product on Panama Canal. Crossing at Duplessis Primary. Pictures are kind of backwards. I just noticed it in this one. This is more of a close to completion. You'll see in the next, we took out the concrete slab. What was happening, it's been repaired a couple times, but the bank would would continue to erode away, so we went back in and Mr. Jamie Brown's crew put in some culverts and bulkheads. So this is going to be very nice for that walking area and allows us access for maintenance. Okay. So in progress, major drainage, easily Moisson I-10 crossing behind Woodgate Townhomes, shredding Panama Canal, ditch off the Lower Gardine, setting culverts and flap gates on Brittany Street, and digging Holiday and Lateral. I think that's a really huge one right there. That's going to leave a lot of water behind that hospital and get that over there to Bayou Ball. Uh-oh.
I've been out, Jade, in that park at DePlessis, and I mean, that's a beautiful project. It all looks really good.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
y'all so much. I've been walking out there in the evenings until it got so hot I just could not do it. That park is so utilized. It's unbelievable how many people are out there. So thank you for all the effort that's gone into that and
Yeah.
certainly into that particular project.
Oh, we love to do work in those areas because when them guys go enjoy them, that walking track things, they can really see what our employees do for them. And they get to showcase their skills. So makes us very proud at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what happened here, guys, but monthly, I saw it on my PowerPoint on my computer, but we're not seeing the map for some reason. So
Oh, well.
this was really for the benefit. Look, the public has reached out to me almost after every time we've showed the maps. They really like to see these maps.
Mm-hmm.
And my apologies here for our little technology difficulty.
Oh, well.
Hopefully we do better with Marvin Braud.
I have an IT failure every day. You rarely have one, so that works out. Yes.
I'm going to have to put a help desk ticket in
Yeah,
on this
can we
one.
get those? Councilman Cagnolotti has requested that these slides, once they're corrected, be added to the parish website so that people can take a look at them.
We can look
Yeah,
into that,
they can have
absolutely.
access to the public. Good
Thank
idea.
you. Since that's what's prompted you to do them, we need to make sure they get out there.
Yeah, I think some of the feedback I got was when they see it on the map, the volume of work versus just the little tidbits that we're able to talk, it just really speaks to language how much we're doing because guys don't necessarily see us in the field. I mean, we have 170 people in the field and we're hardly seen unless we're sleeping under a tree. So we,
Exactly.
and that was a joke. But anyway, the maps have made a huge impact because we're off the road, and these guys don't see us, so I really like it. Marvin Braud, I want to give a little overview on it. Oh, my God. So we'll talk about it a little bit. So we're at the last stages of Marvin Braud getting this facility 100%. So this week we started installing pump number 1 along with the gearbox. We have the pump installed. We have the pedestal as assembly. Just a tidbit. We thought maybe by tomorrow, the next day, we should be firing this up. We chose to make a last-minute upgrade and do some adjustments to the pedestal to allow for future adjustments, something that was seen after this stuff was put together. So we'll start reassembling pedestal and gearbox on tomorrow. Looking at possibly midweek next week that we're actually pumping and testing this unit out. And that will put us, if we're all successful, which I think we will, these guys did a wonderful job. I had some great photos in there. They did a wonderful job on the machine work and the cleanup. All this came back, looks very new.
Jay, would you let me know whenever that's installed, please?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
We'll have another whole month before we meet, so I'd like to have an update.
Yep. And I just kind of wanted to hit on a couple things that was done. I know you asked about some of the SOP stuff. A lot of the SOPs were, at the moment of what we're dealing with, are complete until we move forward. But we're 95% on the cameras. They're actually 100% at Marvin Braud. They're 100% at Sorrento. I think we have one camera left to install at Henderson. So we're able to see all those corners and all the operational views at those stations at the moment. We're also able to see fish and frog locks which is great. Rory did a great job with that. Sprinkler systems is still in the process with the fire marshal office through the engineering and get approvals to become a certified system. The fire pools at each station, there was a little delay on some of the material to do that job. So we got a little update from Mr. Fritz on that. So he's working on getting that back together and get on it. And I believe we're 65, 75% on the alarm installs. One of the biggest things right now, we finally got confirmation, August 16th. If nothing changes, we will be having our crews, possibly looks like about 40 employees will be attending fire training. Now it is fire extinguisher training, basic training, up to the point that we let the professionals take it. But that will be on August 16th. So we got a few little things moving, and then.
Where will that training be?
So right now, what we're thinking about is maybe holding it at Lamar Dixon. This is a 2-day training, so it is classroom training, and then once we get out of the classroom, we go actually to the Marvin Braud site, and that's where they do the hands-on training, and it is 2 instructors. It's not a single, and it's done through. Actually, I don't know who it's done through, but
James?
James could probably tell me. IES. I'm sorry.
Very good.
But James had done all the forework on it, and we're just getting to the point where we're comfortable bringing them into the station with the work that's been done, and
Excellent.
so we should have that complete, and that'll get our guys trained, and we feel confident that if, for God forbid, we do have some type of incident, that they'll know what to do.
Fantastic. Thank you. That's tremendous progress since our incidents in the early part of the year. So
Yep.
Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right. Ron, you're next. I see you lined up there.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
while Ron's setting up, I just want to give a big shout out to our crews. You obviously see some of the work out there. While we're all running to the ACs, they're running to jobs out in the heat, and it's been well over 100 for the past 6 days. So just a big shout out to them. We're obviously taking precautions when it comes to their hydration, their levels, and their work. So we'd ask the public to please consider that these jobs may take a little longer due to those precautions we're taking when temperature gets over 100 and the heat index is well over 115. So just big shout out to our crews for taking that unbearable heat that they put themselves in every day. It's really something to ask from us, but they're rising to the occasion. But just want the public to know that sometimes these things take a little longer due to those hydration requirements and slowing things down just a bit for their safety.
We appreciate that. Ron and I talked this week about whether or not our guys were being protected in that area. And one of the things I want to commend is the leadership team for making sure that those folks have proper hydration and proper breaks and can go get under a shade tree from time to time. It's just critical. We just don't need to lose somebody. Sometimes we have older workforce. A heat prostration for one of them could be life-changing. So I really appreciate that that there's concern at the administration level, at the leadership level, and look forward to having. I think as much as we need a hurricane season with no hurricanes, we need a summer without any lost time based on some kind of heat stroke in our workforce. So I would appreciate knowing at the end of this that we managed to pull that off. So thank y'all very much. James, I know you're concerned about that. I think we could stand to get a report on that at the end of the day. All right, go ahead, Ron.
Yes, thank you, Board. Good evening. Echo everybody's appreciation for our staff. It takes a village, and we have a heck of a village underneath our belts here. So getting into capital projects, kind of wanted to go over some of the slides that I showed you guys at our last meeting, the concrete lining project that you guys voted on. At the last meeting, we were just getting started on the Bayou Francois lateral. A lot of work has moved forward. Since that meeting, you can see on the left, they've moved forward the excavation of that channel, got it all to the right elevations. To the right, you actually see
I have a question. Are you're using
I'm
your,
tied into my laptop
okay,
here.
that's what I was trying to figure out. Give me 1 second.
Okay, we good? That's all right. So on the left, they did all the excavation work, the grade work, and then to the right, we got the actual craft of installing the concrete liner on the channel. It's actual fabric that they have to pre-order, roll out through the channel, and then they actually pump concrete mix into the liner, which swells it up, and then it hardens and cures. And then the process is they come back and they dress all the banks up to the top of the liners and really dress up the project. So here's the completed product of that Bayou Francois lateral. You can see they sodded the top banks and blended it all in. And now that water makes that complete transition around that curve. And there's no more of that washing out and eroding of these two landowners right here where these ditches all come together. So you also see in here a little bit of culvert work at the transitions. So the entire area has been lined and that channel has been completed. A little bit different angle. We're very appreciative of the work. Feel like we had a very good contractor that was very knowledgeable and did a really good job. And he didn't waste any time. He's being very proactive and efficient and effective. So that job is now complete. They're currently on the lateral by the courthouse. This was earlier this afternoon or yesterday. They're roughly halfway down the channel just stripping it. This is not the final grade. They had a lot of concrete and different things on this channel and they had to strip it. And now they're doing the final grade cutting now. They're scheduled to do this concrete pour. About half of this channel will be looked at next week. So they'll be moving forward with concrete lining this first section of this channel next week. And while the concrete crews are here performing the lining on this section, the contractor will be at Bayou Francois cutting grade and prepping that other section. So this is going to be a back-to-back. Hopefully this weather holds up for us. We knock this one out, and we're on to Villa Galvez after that. So hopefully 1st of September, we'll be in Villa Galvez right in the middle of that job as well. So move on to the Tilton Weir. I brought you guys a couple of photos of that last meeting, and we're according to schedule, we're a little ahead of schedule. We want to be very cautious of saying that, but we kind of are right now. We are moving forward with concrete pours. So the last meeting, this is what we had as far as production. A lot has happened on this job as well. Our contractors are really working diligently in this heat, and they're battling it too. So since that meeting, they formed up the base pour for the foundation around those concrete piles that they had put in. So all this heavy steel work and all that form work, they did all this in a matter of about a week. So they were really getting after it. And we moved forward last week with the actual concrete pour of the foundation. Contractor did a really good job of logistics here. He set up a pump truck and the concrete trucks off of Weber City Road, so no traffic was impeded during this process. And there was a total of 12 different concrete trucks coming in and out of there. So this is the guys actually applying that work, the concrete to the form with the pump truck. And that crew never stopped. They stayed on this right through lunch and kept going. They wanted to get the job done, and they did a great job. So this is after the concrete has set up earlier this week. They had removed all the form boards, and they went right into building the walls of the Weir bays. There's going to be 4 bays there. And so they're in the middle of that right now. That's kind of where the project is as of today. So the rest of this week, they'll continue forming up the walls of the structure, and they anticipate that taking about 2 weeks. They're going to get into starting having to cut out the mounting brackets for the gates themselves. So it's going to get a little bit more precise, a little bit more time consuming on that. So next couple of weeks they'll be doing that, and we'll move on to the pour of the walls. That'll be the next milestone. And then after that, we'll be driving some sheet piles across the foundation to secure any undermining or anything like that. There'll be a row of sheet piles as well along the bottom of that foundation. We'll continue to update you guys along the progress of that. Most of my other projects, we work in hand with HNTB, and he covered most of those. But other than that, just work
Fantastic.
progressing.
Any questions, gentlemen? Don't hear any, Ron. Thank you so much. Oh, Dempsey. Dempsey jumped in.
Couple things real quick.
Sure.
ELOS,
Yes.
how many permits have they acquired so far? Or if you want me to get straight to them, the three that I have.
Yeah, I know we've got a few in your district there.
You know, I need to know something on, Sanamo, Swamp. I'd like to know something on Boudreaux Bayou and, Roddy Bayou.
Okay.
You know, these are the ones that we having problems with, the beaver dams. And, you know, I've been very patient, waiting on the shredding machine to get in some of these channels. And I know we've been waiting patiently with Elos there, but we need to move on something. That, you know, we just had this little bit of shower today, and you see it stacking water. And I mean, we've been in a drought. So it's you know, if we can get it shredded out, I think we can get some of this stuff moving, but we shouldn't have any water anywhere right now.
Yeah, we've been consulting with HNTB on the Henderson Bayou permit, the Marty Burette, the Boudreaux Bayou. I will get back with them and see what they recommend we do. They had looked at more retention type projects in those basins, but look, let me get back with them and I'll bring you something in the next meeting on the reports. I don't have them all in front of me.
I know, and I didn't want to put you on the spot, but
Yeah, sorry.
I know we retain them to get on precise things like this, and I've been waiting a while. So the other thing, with the debris, with the trees, since we worked this parking lot deal with Lamar Dixon, where are you hauling your trees now, or your debris?
So we got with the Lamar Dixon staff, and the southwest corner of Lamar Dixon has a square back there behind the far pond. We started logistics today. We went in there and underbrushed it.
Okay.
And got all of that area cleared out and got a good solid look at it. It looks fine. We're starting to build a road tomorrow. So
Great.
we're transitioning right into that other spot. I got culverts hauled out there, got a dozer on it today. And I anticipate by next week, we should have that site in a whole lot better condition. And we'll be back to normal business with the trees for a while. However, we got a burn ban, and the next step we'll have to apply for DEQ to give us permission to burn there. But we will be able to haul trees there.
Great.
So that's all in the works right now.
And not to steal the thunder from Mr. Melanson, but the Law Ridge levee, do we have the right-of-way complete on that system, the levee system that we under?
You talking about the one we're building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a call about a deer stand and a few other things that were messed up. Were these people, did they know about the right-of-way, or is this something that?
So the contractor is meeting with those folks.
Okay.
He's been on their property with them.
Okay. So all the right-of-way has been acquired on this project?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They got offline on that one parcel.
Good deal.
Thank you
Thank
very much. Thank you. Good job, Ron. Any other questions, gentlemen? I don't see any. Item number C, the Vegetation Monthly Report. Go on.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll go ahead and start my report for this last month. Hopefully, I don't have any other issues. To give a quick update on our DOT state highway contract, the map highways in blue are what have already been done. We're at 31% through the second cycle with mowing. We've completed 100% of our herbicide application, and currently litter is right behind mowing at 25% complete. Right now, they're on Highway 30 this week, so that's why it's in red. Update on our Lifehouse Church United contract. So far, for the amount of right under 1.2, major drainage has spent $34,000, minor drainage $161,000, vegetation $717,000. We have currently $186,000 left to date on that contract. Some work order metrics. This last July, we received 114. It's about 59% less than it was this time last year. Just like I told y'all last month, vegetation has really been pulling together and working very well. And so we're moving right along with that. for the 114 different new requests that came in from the call center. Here's a quick breakdown by activity. Overall, this month, we completed 54 of the call center work orders. Overall status, this is year-to-date, as long as the system has been running. We're at 77% completion. We still have about 309 that are in open approved status, still yet to begin. Our internal work order metrics, we completed 95 this month. This is our own preventative work that we find are part of our maintenance cycles and also include all of the state highway contract work orders. Quick overcap of overtime. This last month, we spent 500 hours working overtime. That was spent cutting and spraying Muddy Creek and Black Bayou, and spraying all of the Goodine. Quick vegetation spotlight. We were recently doing some work for about last month at 44 and Conway Bridge. We were seeking to restore the right-of-way of 44 up to Conway, which is part of the DOT contract, and we also identified and cleared some drainage obstructions that were around and underneath the bridge. I have a few photos to show you. This was late June when we went out there, started scouting the project. This is looking north. It's looking south. About halfway through it, this was August 3rd. We actually had trees that were growing in the ditch itself. So this was definitely a good work to be done to restore drainage and also right-of-way areas to that area. This is that same spot I was standing in June. This is looking back south. Currently, this is what the underside of Conway River Bridge looks like. Wide open and cleared. We removed a lot of trees and underbrush that were actually leaning into the channel itself. So Mr. Bourgeois of the tree crew and Todd and Waylon of the hand crew, Mr. Landry and our waterway crew put a lot of effort and time in getting this area cleaned up. Does anyone have
Any questions, gentlemen? Congratulations on that work on 44. That's great looking.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. No other questions or comments? The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn is a second. There are no objections, I'm sure, so we're out of here.